Hello everyone, it's me, Hikawa, and welcome to my Highlander deck profile video. My name is Hikawa, guys. If you know me online, you can add me on Twitter or something. So today I'll be showing you my Highlander deck profile, which is a deck that I've been playing for the past 3 years. As you can see here, I have two Highlander deck, which is one is the Japanese version and the other one is English version, because I've been playing two formats, which is the Japanese and English format. But today we'll be mainly talking about the Japanese deck. The English deck. Sorry. I'll cover the what I'll change a bit in the Japanese later. But first I'll cover all of the deck and all the card choice in my English deck, and we get started. So the first one is simply 4 copy of Reindeer, which is the main card for this deck, because you always want to write into this. This card is the main reason why Highlander is a thing in this format, in the V and premium scene. Um, because it basically when this is when you in a battle attack can discard to reveal top 10. If you all the normal in a different name, you can just write one anything and then you get -1 drive. Also the best thing about this card, you play this at 4 even though it's a Highlander deck, because it has a continuous effect that basically said, oh, if this card revealed by card ability, it become a trigger unit, so you don't need to worry about, oh, what happened if I reveal the 2 copy of Reindeer during the Reindeer effect for the top 10, which is doesn't really matter because this card trigger unit when you reveal by that, so let's get into that. So this is the main card for the deck, so it doesn't really nothing. This is what you want to need to start playing the Highlander. And then next is we play 1 copy of Laura, 1 copy of Olivia, 1 copy of Aneska. Laura is a very strong card. It just basically create a whole new board for you, and probably you can add something like do something devastating, maybe a Pearl Sister, maybe something that just draw you a lot of card. But even though it's like everyone say, oh, this is such a good card, but there's a downside to it actually, because sometimes you just hit 6 or 7 trigger from the reveal top 10, but usually when you're playing, you just call the trigger, which basically you reduce the possibility to check more trigger in your deck. But the 15k booster, sometimes just a 50k booster, you go for it, just try to push for game. Even if like you don't kill your opponent from there, it just stay there for 5k booster for the next turn, which is not really bad because you have 3 force marker by that turn. Yeah, but this gets sometimes overrated or sometimes really broken, so there's nothing in the middle. And next is Olivia. Olivia is a strong card because basically when it's an attack, you can just choose up to 5 frigate and you just stand them. And if you have all different name, if you have 3 or more, you just get +1 crit, which is create a lot of pressure from there. Because imagine like you hit a Pearl Sister, you had 2 crit to create for the Pearl Sister, and then you swing this, oh, I restand 3, I'll send my Pearl Sister back, which is you're gonna get another 2 to create attack. Also, this will also become a 2 crit attack when you restand 3 or more, right? So you basically get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to crit attack, aside from the Vanguard Reindeer swing, which is very strong. Your opponent gonna be like having a hard time to guard this. They need to spend a lot of guard, they're taking a lot of damage for that one, which is this guy is very strong. And next we have Aneska. Aneska has been talked about within the people that I've been playing with, because while in premium it's very strong card because it just basically outskills your opponent because of all of the marker generation. You can just create protect, force, and excel from there and just win from there. In V, which is the format basically you go first win, going second with this card feel like very mid. uh Going first, however, with this card basically just confirm you like the win for that game, because basically you're generating a lot of marker, you get another protect to survive your opponent little attack and everything, and then next you just bash your opponent with like minimum of like 4 attack, and then you do the reindeer stuff and you kill new card if you hit Laura or maybe hit something, right? And then just whole new board, which is very strong, and then you get to do more attack. But yeah, but you still play this because of the marker generation. You going second, you going first, I mean, very strong. It create a lot of marker. Going second is still okay. You just hit the marker and everything. You just need to survive another turn. You did get the protect, but yeah, and then it's all depend on how you play the next game, right? Okay, so that's the grade 4 lineup. Next, we're going for the grade 3, which is we have Perfect Form Ange, we have Tirwa, Lupina, Gerinde, and Raid. Ange is basically a very good card from the beginning. That's because it already have a, oh no, it's already its own deck, because they have literally Ange. So if you hit Ange with this, just basically a bonus. you create 4 force marker in a turn, which is very very strong, right? And then you just call anything from your deck. Also, you bounce your whole field, so you can just reuse the on place effect for all the card that you have used, which is what is point of the Highlander deck, which is basically filter, and then push for game with the amount of force marker you generating for the time to time, which is usually just win from there when you hit the Ansh. Also, the Ansh save me a lot of time, save me a lot of time, because yeah, people say that, oh, I just Tirua and then I swing and I stand for another game, so you guys 5 attack, but sometimes you just don't want. No, I want to survive. Probably I just call any utility card for my grade 2 or grade 1, so I can survive another turn and then the next turn, because I have 4 force marker that I can start it. And if I ride, just get 5 and then just start scaling from there, just kill my opponent from there. It's just very very strong. Just like this is like the best red target to get when you hit Ansh, as long as you have the field. And then you have Tirua. Tirua is basically a budget Ansh. The whole thing is that like, you bounce your whole field, all the normal units, so you can use the effect again. Also, it's sometimes you just want the 10k shield in the back row that you can use again and everything. Also, the thing is get plus 15k, so it become a minimum 38. So you can just swing your opponent. And my rule of thumb when I'm hitting my Tirua, if I hit a crit, I will always restand for the effect if I have the cost, if I have the CB, because the crit pressure is very strong. Even the opponent hit like double defensive, as long as I can still hit my opponent for like 2 crit, so I can just deny them or maybe just force them to cut with hand, I will do it, because this is what the card do. And then because yeah, the third attack probably doesn't have the third attack for the Vanguard doesn't have the drive, but still become a 38, or if you hit a critical potentially 48 or maybe become 58. I will tell you later about that. And then just hit for 2 crit, which is very very big. Your opponent usually throw maybe a minimum of 15 if they hit defensive, or maybe a lot, which is if you hit trigger, right? Next, right, and then we have Lupina. Lupina is basically a budget Olivia, right? Because you swing and then you counter blast one because you restand all the trigger with force marker. So you basically do a 6 attack with this one, just very very good. The problem is just it costs CB, but it's fine for that one, because it doesn't really matter. You don't really use CB anyway. This deck is at minimum of using one CB for having an optimal play, which is why I really like this deck. You don't really need a lot of CB. Just one is optimal. Having none is like okayish. So if you have the CB for this and you just restand, probably have Pearl Sister like the Olivia turn, just have another 2 attacker with like 2 crit swing with a very big number. So this girl just become a fodder to just restand them, to give your opponent more pressure, try to kill them for that. Or maybe you become a 23k or something and just swing. And then because sometimes when I did write this at the end of the game, I'll sometimes give the force marker to the back row, so I can just reset my back row also, so to give like more power to swing sometimes, because that's actually what the deck best do for this one you hit. And that's for it for the Lumina. And next we have the Lady. The funny story about this one, right? I used to play 2 Laura. I know it's bad, but my mentor Kuru, shout out to Kuru Ref, uh, always tell me hitting Laura is very very good. That you should not run 2 of this. How do I say? So basically, you usually run 2, but the meta is like you cannot afford to make any mistake, even from luck. So basically, like, I need to play this at 1. If I play at 2 and if I hit 2, I just basically die. Not like the last format, which is even if I hit 2, I still fine, as long as this next time I didn't with Laura. But then I changed to 1, and then I was like, what card I need to replace? And then, oh, I have Grindia, which is very basically a common card. This is basically budget Laura for budget Laura. So you just when base river top 7, if all the way need different name, you can just call 2. Yeah, it doesn't get the buff power like already, but sometimes calls 2 just to call you utility cards. So maybe if you hit Pearl Sister or something, right? I talk about Pearl Sister a lot, but if you like your utility cards from the grade 2 grade 1, which is very very great, you can just survive another turn, or probably having a board that can hold your opponent next turn and everything, which is it's better than not having nothing. So that's why I choose to play like this at a one-off instead of double aura. So I didn't wave. So if I hit this, so I just hit a double. Okay, what is it called? I just hit a budget aura. It's fine. I still get the extra attack and everything. And next we have Raid. Raid used to be Atrokia, but I really hate Atrokia cost, which is return 6, which is 3 from the board, and 3 from the drop zone, which is like, oh my god, this cost is so horrendous, I don't want to play it. And when there's raid, I was like, this is like such a godsend card to replace that card. Now I can play this instead of Atrokia, because it's also generate another force marker on your Vanguard circle, so it also like a restand, so basically it's a budget Tirua. If Tirua is a budget arch, this is a budget Tirua, so you can do 2 attack Vanguard. If you hit crit, you just restand. Instead of Tirua, right? Even if you doesn't hit crit, you probably want that extra one force marker, and you have hand to discard. You just can counter plus 1 to discard 1 and stand this, and then you get another force marker. So next time you have a like 33k reindeer on attack, so you don't need to boost with reindeer thing, so you can just focus on powering up the sides to close the game. So that's where raid come from. You just get 2 force marker, and then you just try to kill your opponent with the same way you try to do with Chirua. And then that's for all the right target for the reindeer. And next we go for the grade 2, which I'll show you first. The primary right target for this deck. The first one being Klasina. Klasina is a very good card to hit. Basically, a counter when placed on Vanguard Circle, counter plus 1, soul plus 1, plus 2, because you add 1 and then call 1. This used to be so broken if you have Q-Tire. Now Q-Tire banned, there's less thing to hit. But having this as a card, it really helped you, because you just use that CV for this one, right? Uh, this card used to be like what a lot, but this is like a PSF card for joining PSF and premium, so I get it from there last year when I played the PSF one. And then we have this Mirada. I think Solemn talked about this. Shout out to Solemn Vanguard. This is basically counter plus 1, so counter plus 1, draw 1, and then you can check top 7. You check top 7, and then you just write anything. You can write this, you can write Lislot, you can write Seria, or maybe you can write Placida if you have 2 CB at the beginning of the turn. So you can just this and then hit anything from here, or maybe just hit any grade 2 if you want more souls, so you give you more souls, because souls are so important. I'll get into that later. So it just fits your right there, or even if it doesn't fit your right, you just draw 1 from there, you get an extra 1 card for CB1, which is an okay-ish effect. But the thing is about that you can just fix either right that you want if you hit either 4 of this. Talking about the other 3, right? So Seria, if you hit Seria, it's basically a discard 1 to fix your hand. You can discard anything, probably discard the right target you have in your deck for like, because it's basically a deck card in your hand, right? So you want to put in the deck, or maybe put on zone, so you can later recycle it back. So this is where Seria comes. Seria basically discard 1 to check top 3. It's also find you dig your deck to find something good. So you just dig your deck, you find something, you add, and then put the rest to the bottom deck. And it's also get plus 5, and you get plus 10 if it's your opponent is a great show rated. So you get a 20k attacker on itself. So you don't need to force yourself to put force mark on here. You can just focus on the other ones because they're hitting for 20 anyway. Or maybe they just filter plus 5, and then you just trash your opponent on the turn 2. Just swing for that one. They have Lislot and Aqua, which is no need a lot to be explained. They basically harmonize with each other. This is basically plus 1. This is basically bonds. You profit from the all on place effect that you have. Discard 1 and everything. You can probably discard your right target that you don't need, or maybe filter anything that you want. Yeah, this is what it is to do. All of this guys very good. I don't need to explain this video more, because this is like 4 off, or maybe a 4-3 in all Bermuda deck except for this one, because you need to play 1 off. If it doesn't do anything, probably I can play like 2 or 3, but this is why this guy is very good. You can just, I play 2 of this and then do everything from deck, because sometimes you just open these 2 for your turn 2, so you can just slot or something, and then next turn you write this, pause the slot, draw 1, discard 1, then you call again, and then you just plus another 1 for your field, so you can just rush your opponent early. This is why this card is very good. So that's for the 5 primary right target. And then we're going into the utility grade 2, which is basically Pearl Sister, Manon, Sistico, Ecos, Freta, and NS. So the first one is Pearl Sister. Pearl Sister is just Pearl Sister, right? There's no need a lot to explain. Basically, your big beater for that turn. And then you have Manon. I really like this card, because if you read Manon, right, when it's unit attack, it doesn't need to attack the Vanguard, right? Just attack anything. You can counter blast 1 and bounce any unit on the field, and you get the original power of that unit. Yeah, the getting original power is a bonus. The thing about this one, right, it just bounce anything, so you bounce anything, so you can bounce a trigger unit for the Laura. So maybe you hit this and you hit trigger for the Laura turn. So and you have the extra CB, you can just call this, and then you attack, and then you just bounce the trigger, so you have the trigger to cut for next turn and everything. Also, you can bounce like any on place effect that you have in your deck, so you can just straight do the on place effect again, which is why I like this card a lot. The plus power is just bonus, that's why. This is like a personal preference. And then next we have Sistico. Sistico is very versatile card because with Sistico, you can just return any noble unit from your drop to the bottom deck, which is why we use the some of the stuff you can return back to the drop zone, and then you just use these two from drop zone to the bottom deck, probably your right target. If you don't have right target, probably you hit any your utility card, maybe your Pearl Sister, or maybe, so you can just filter them out to try to get it again, or maybe. And also, if you return 3 or more, you just paralyze one of your opponent rear guard, which is very, very strong in certain matchup, probably against Team Maiden or everything for the current meta right now. So you can just stun the cat, or maybe stun anything that your opponent keycard, and then just can't do anything. Probably they're forced to overcommit for that one. So this is why I really like this card. This is like a lot of people choice right when playing Highlander, because you need to filter your right target in your drop zone. So that's about it. And then you have Echoes. I cannot count how many times this card saved me from all the matches. The effect is very simple. If you place a Great Joe Greater unit on your Vanguard circle, this one get +5, which is a free. So because in that K become a 13k, and then it had effect as Soul Blast 3 to draw 2. The cost seems high, but you don't really use Soul in this deck. So this is basically one of the card that use Soul for that. If you hit this, so you basically to Soul Blast 3 to draw 2, which is very, very strong. Because sometimes, right, when I talk about Anch, right, oh, I don't want to kill this turn, probably I just want to survive another turn with Anch. So probably I'll bounce everything and I just call this, because I have the souls, so I just call and then swing. And then because end of turn, right, I return back the Anch to the bottom deck. You write back the reindeer, you get another force marker, and then you use this to Soul Blast Siege draw 2, which you have a lot of hand because you bounce for the Anch, right? So you have the hand from the all return, and then you use this, so you get another extra 2. So, and this become next time become just a 5k intercept or something, right? So I cannot comprehend how many times this save me. This also sometimes I just call it back in the back turn 2 to prevent no from attacking. And then I write into reindeer on that turn, and then just Soul Blast to draw 2, probably I draw something good, and then it just keep on doing plays and plays, and because it become a 13k attacker, I don't need to bother to put force marker on turn 2 for turn 3 on this one, because it's already attacking on its own for 13k. Opening need to get like 5k shield, you need to take the damage. I mean the 5k shield is 5k shield, you need to pressure anything that you have. Anything you can do to pressure, you just add it, gladly I'll take this for the pressure. And next we have let's talk about Freta. Let's talk about NS first. So NS is a card that come and go in this deck list. Before we have Classina, I put this one in the deck during my PSF 2022. I put this one instead of Classina because we don't have Classina at the time, right? So this is basically a +1. I mean, they have the same cost, counter +1, soul +1. And then this one get power +5k. And then after Classina come out, I don't need this card anymore, so I put Classina. And then we get the ban list, which they ban Q-Tire for this deck. So I was like, I need another card that basically pass me one. So why not add this card, which is very, very good. You can just draw one and this become a 14k attacker. This also has the same theory philosophy when you playing the same thing. Because this basically, it become this one can become a 14k attacker. Well, this can become a 13k. So you don't need to worry about putting a booster or maybe a force marker, so to make your opponent hit if you go in second, because you're already hitting on its own, so you can pressure at least a 5k shield, or maybe anything from the hand, or maybe they just take 1 damage from there. So even if they hit defensive, the other one is still hitting because this one doesn't have force marker, so they need to like guard the force marker, which is okayish. So like, yeah, this is basically a Q-Tire replacement. If they unban Q-Tire, probably this one just not build here anymore. They just put Q-Tire, hope so. It's a copium there. And then we have Freta. This is an interesting choice. Basically, right, you have Aurora. This card basically do the same, but instead different sequencing, which Aurora draw one, discard one. But this one instead, you discard one to draw one, just different sequence, just do this, it just accomplish the same thing, right? But the part that this card become good, right, because you can discard one to draw one, so basically discard any right target in your hand, and probably you have something to return, maybe Sistico, maybe Stesa, or maybe anything that return back to the bottom deck. So use this to filter. So you put that to the drop zone and you draw a new card. So basically you just filter your deck. The effect is very simple, but actually it's a very powerful card. I really like this card. It's I don't know why people not playing it, but probably can reconsider this. I mean, in the end, it depends on the preference of the player, but this card really good for me. So that's my grade 2 lineup, which is basically 11 card. Next we going into the grade 1. First, like the grade 2, I'll show you the primary right target for this deck, which is basically also 5 card. So the first one will be Quill going first, or maybe going second, it doesn't really matter. You just on right, you soul charge one. So you basically you feel soul for your Echoes, or maybe your Placina, or maybe NS, so you basically get a souls for this one. And also it's has a forerunner effect. If people doesn't know forerunner, you don't play the old Vanguard game, the old Vanguard. Basically forerunner is when you roll upon this unit, you can just call it to the Vanguard circle. So this will become an 8k attacker and an 8k booster. Also because there's effect, you may soul charge one, you can choose to soul charge or not. So if you want the souls, you can just I'll just soul charge. So if you usually if you write this and then you go into your Placina, basically you plus 3 from that because you call this card and then you get to call another one, then you add one card to your hand and then you gain back soul. So that 2 card combo is very strong. I really like how to play this deck. So this is like your primary target for that one. And next we have Radka. Radka is a going second card for me because it has a effect on Vanguard, like additionally attack hit draw 1. So that's why it become a going second card. Also Radka basically filter your deck because sometimes the problem is that if you don't hit reindeer you just lose. So this card accomplish that. You just basically because it affect the retire and then you check the top 2 card of your deck to add 1 to hand and 1 to draw. Sometimes you just don't get reindeer, but you get something like that can filter your deck and everything, so you can get closer to digging the deck, right? So that's why I make this card a lot better because you just keep getting closer to what you want to dig into the deck, which is make this card is very strong card. And next we have Betty. Betty, we have a joke within our group, which is basically, oh my god, Betty is the broken card. Betty the broken. The reason is why Betty has an effect that basically you reveal top 7 if a nominee a different name, right? Highlander stuff. You return a card from your hand to the bottom deck and then you add from the top 7 to your hand. So basically this one fix your hand and then it just return anything from your hand to the deck. Maybe your right target, your grade 3s and everything, or maybe your triggers, maybe because I draw a lot of trigger, maybe you just I don't want trigger in my hand, probably I just want to check it, right? So this one just return anything. In premium, this card also insane because you can just return your OT in your hand if you draw your OT. So I remember someone say returning OT to the deck is unforgivable, so they don't want Betty. But I really like this card. Betty is basically your fix. This is the one that fix your deck a lot. Betty. So I prefer it to be on rearguard circle at least because we have Manon and Aqua. So you can basically redo the thing and you can just fix your deck. But if you get to ride this, it doesn't really matter. It still fix your hand, which is what I really like. So yeah, that's because we play Betty in this deck. This is like you need to play this. This will never go out from the deck. And next we have Mernil. Mernil has 2 great effects. The first one is you can return when it's a Vanguard you get circle. Return a card to the normal unit to the bottom deck and then drop 1, which basically you filter your right target in your hand. So you can just filter for new card. Also you just return your right target back to the deck. So that's very good. So you can just hit it later. And the second skill, which is a lot of people probably forgot, because the second skill, if you place a grade 3 during the battle phase, choose one of your Vanguard, you get plus 10. That's where it can become very strong. So basically if you have this one as a booster in the back row, because the effect only activate if this in the back row, right? So you use Stranger, you discard 1, discard 2, sorry, and then you get the top 10 and everything, and then you hit grade 0, grade 4, and then you get a force marker, right? So now because you have this card in your field, you don't need to like contemplating, oh should I put the marker on Vanguard circle because my opponent hit the defensive, how I need to hit my opponent, because this card fix that. because having this, basically you have a temporary one force marker for that turn. So basically you ride, you get another one, and then because of the effect, when they ride, your Vanguard also get another +10 for that turn. So basically you get a temporary one force marker, which is very very good. So you can keep pushing your opponent even if they hit the defensive, you still pressure your opponent to like throw hand or take damage, which is what I really like about this card. And then next we have Sedna. Sedna is basically your great tree searcher. You shuffle your deck. Sometimes you just don't add, unless you don't have reindeer, you add this reindeer, or sometimes you just filter out the reindeer out from the deck. Or maybe you just want to shuffle your deck. Maybe you hit this, or maybe anything else, or maybe Sistico return back to the bottom deck. You want to shuffle your right target, right? So you set out to shuffle your deck. It's basically a shuffling mechanic. So you can hit your right target during the reindeer attack. So that's the right target for this deck. And then we have the card, the other rearguard centric card for this one. We have Pearl Sister Perle, we have Sparkling Soul Nikita, we have Reliable Fate Lusalos, Cuddle Connect Vanessa, and we have Ready Tuesday. Pearl Sister is Pearl Sister. Do I need to say about this? Basically, your attacking card, your go for game card. Like if you draw this card, you probably win game. And next we have Nikita. Uh, Nikita and Echoes is like you choose in between which one you want to use, but both of them like basically accomplish the same thing. I don't want to say same thing because basically that one is a draw 2. You probably draw into better shield for this one, while this one is like you get a very big ton of shield. So basically if you like soul charge a lot with the quill, or maybe you use this, you just soul charge a lot, right? And then you use this, so you get a lot of shield for this one, because this one you can soul plus any number, and for every card soul plus you get plus 5k shield. It's also sometimes I use this to push for game because I just write this one, you call this one, sorry, and then you can soul blast like 3 or 4 and become plus 15 or 20. So it's hitting like a truck, hitting like maybe 23 33 depending if I have force marker, and you draw another one card, so you can just start doing your plays from there. And then we have Lusalos. I really love Lusalos ever since it's come out, because it has the ability that it can intercept from the back row, and it can intercept. You have 3 or more force marker, which reindeer will always happen to have, because you ride into something. Maybe not always, but almost every time. If you are a grade 2, grade 4, and then you just create 3 force marker, this one probably the back row, so you get another 15k intercept in the back row, because sometimes your opponent forgot, so you have like intercept, and then this one get another intercept on the back row, just intercept with this one, so this is a 50k shield. Or it just become a 13k booster. This is probably a second set now for the 13k booster and everything, so they still hit even if doesn't have force marker on it and everything. It's still hitting for magic number, which is 13. If you have force marker like 23, maybe 33 or something. And next we have Vanessa and Steza, which is basically your filter card. Like say before, you have Freta and everything, just discard your right target and then you use this to filter them back to the deck. The thing about this, right, sometimes you just, when you use this with Reindeer, right, it just sometimes different sequencing, because if you boost these two, if you boost the Vanguard, you can just choose to use Vanguard first or the booster first. So if you have like a lot of right target, maybe you want to return your heal or something, you can just use this first so you can shuffle your deck later. Or maybe you can just, I have a lot, my right targets all on the deck, I can just discard 2 first because I have the grade 3 in my hand. I want to discard first, top 10 to right first, and then because I discard my grade 3 in my hand, right, for my right target, so I can use this to return the grade 3 back to the deck and everything, and I just draw another one, because this one is basically counter plus 1, retire this, draw 2, which is you add a lot of hand, while discard adding your souls for the Lusalos or maybe Ecoston, so you have souls to keep playing with, or maybe NS. Also it return, because this one strictly return a grade 3, while this one you can return a grade 4 for the deck. So sometimes you hit you have only Laura or anything, so this one is the thing that can do. Also this one can push anything, or maybe it just get attack and then put the soul to draw 1 and return back to the deck, while this one is strictly pushing the Vanguard, boosting the Vanguard, sorry. And then but it still draw 2 card, which is very very good, because if you hit Laura anyway, you're just gonna retire this, so better retire to boost something like draw 2 or something, right? So that's the grade 1 lineup, which is basically 10 card deck. And next is the trigger lineup. So you play 4 Hill Guardian, which is not surprising. Every deck play this, or sometimes you play like 3-1 or 2-2. But I prefer 3-3 because you have Steza and Vanessa. Sometimes you just want to return, so you can play the long game if you hit another heal, right? which is very strong. And then I play a crit, 9 specifically, because in this deck I played one crit sentinel. So the reason I pick crit sentinel right now, because it's teammate in meta, so I don't want to waste a lot of hand when I'm guarding, or probably during the gold gate meta also. I just don't want to waste a lot of hand. So sometimes having a 30k shield is very helpful, because sometimes they're hitting for like what, 30, 42. Below the 42 number, you can just one card like this one. Because also it's just an extra hit, which is like opponent, oh, sometimes cause your trigger, oh, there are 7 or 8 triggers out, and then someday, oh, you hit the crit sentinel. Your opponent, holy shit, you cannot do anything, because you have a surprise extra crit. But the thing is, like a 30k shield, I mean, it's a player preference, because I play 3 draw in this deck, because draw is a draw is good, but having a 30k shield sometimes is very helpful, especially against a deck that just hit like a truck, maybe like 23, 33, 40, 42, where you can just one card get this one, which is a lot of time. That's why I keep playing this one. And then the rest is like starter. I play Coral for the starter because I like Coral. Coral is cute. Don't judge me, bro. Everyone has their own preference. So that's the English deck for my Highlander, which is what I'm currently playing, and probably I will bring it during PSF 2023, and maybe during BCS also, because this deck has always been my favorite. And we will talk about, for the people who are interested, for the radio Japanese deck, which is basically the same. There's like only 2 card difference here, basically because Q-Tire is not banned in the Japanese version, so you play Q-Tire because Q-Tire is good. You play 1, don't play 2. I think Solemn has already told everyone about it, why you don't play 2. He already elaborate everything that I want to say, so you just play 1 copy of radio and 1 copy of Q-Tire, sorry, because basically +1, because it's like basically +1 and everything, and you just got everything that you want from your deck. The funny thing, right, trivial, so about this card, the pre-ban this one, I used to be afraid that my opponent will shout me on my card name when I use Q-Tire, that I ended up memorizing all the name on this deck, the full name, maybe reliable fate to Salos, if you can say I can cuddle connect Vanessa, or probably I can just declare Chester Accord Manon, or maybe I can just declare Top Idol Aqua. I remember all the name in this deck, distinguishing Radka. Yeah, so so because of that, I don't want my opponent to rule shot me or something. I'll just memorize all the card name. Sometimes when I play Japanese, I say the full name, and then I just see the effect, the cost or something, because I don't want my opponent to like rule shot me everything. I don't want something like that to happen. So that's the thing. I remember all the card name for my deck just because of this one card, and then it got banned in English. It doesn't really matter, because in Japanese I can just declare some card what effect the grade, and because this is Japanese, right? So I can just yeah, I'll just add the card to my hand. And then the next card that I'll play in the Japanese one was this. The name is Moko Moko Fantasy Miafu. Basically Fluffy Fantasy Miaf. This card is very simple, but very strong. It has an effect that when this unit attack hit, it's a Vanguard Rear Guard circle, mind you. When this unit attack hit, if you have more Rear Guard than your opponent, you can Soul Blast 1 to draw 1, which is a very simple effect. So this will be a Radka but crit 2, so it's also work on Rear Guard circle. So sometimes I use this to push my opponent, because it just swing. If they want to guard this, they need to throw hand early game, or if they don't want to guard this, I just simply draw 1, so I can just have more card in my hand. I have more card economy from them, so I can just keep playing my game. I have more card than them, so I can just outskills my opponent, even I don't know what the card draw. I mean, the draw card is draw card. We take any +1 that you can into, because that is basically filtered deck. So that's the only difference. The card that I'm currently changing for the deck for this one is, I think I pull out Sistico and NS, because I basically, this card is basically, NS is basically replace Kitayo for this deck, and I pull out Sistico from the original list for this one, because I feel like plusing 1 from this is much better. But sometimes I'm still contemplating to put my Sistico in the Japanese deck. Probably I'll do a lot of testing later to see if like worth or not, probably what I need to pull out. So basically this deck have a 10-10 ratio for grade 1 and grade 2. So while this one has a 10-11 because of the Chutai and everything. And so that's it. That's my Highlander deck profile. This is my first time doing that profile, which is I'm a bit nervous. Probably I did a lot of mistake for this one. I apologize for that. But it's really fun. I'm trying to do new stuff. So let's see if how to see if I can do it actually. So yeah, thanks everyone who watching me. It's not much for you all, but I think it's meant a lot for me. Uh, if you like wondering, is this deck good? If my personal record doesn't prove it, I don't know what to say. So I basically get last year, I get top 8 PSF with this deck, which I went 6-0 during Swiss. I get top 8 during VMC. I get top 8 for PCS Singapore, and also during the WGP Malaysia, which is my country WGP, which is for the Japanese card. I got first place for that one, which is I'm very happy about it. So I will keep playing this deck since speed doesn't really change a lot, and the power skill doesn't really change a lot for certain deck, except for like maybe 1 or 2 deck like last year, probably like Prism and Stimulated. So this deck will still be on top of the deck, probably not as strong as that, but it will still be up there somewhere. So thank you everyone to watch. I hope you guys have a good day and bye bye. Ciao.